Hey Browns fans, welcome to Browns All Access. Nathan Zegura alongside Browns legend Bernie Kosar. And Bernie, this week not quite as fun as last week, but still a lot of encouraging signs as the Browns went down into Houston, faced that streaking Texans team, had a rough first half, but a nice second half, ended up falling 29-13.
After an 8-game winning streak by the Texans, kind of hoping going down there that maybe they'd take it a little for granted. Well-coached team by Bill O'Brien. The dominance of that front four with Clowney and Watts put a lot of pressure on us. And to get in there and come back and not cash in the chips at halftime was definitely a positive sign.
It was, and Baker Mayfield, not his best performance in the first half, 3 interceptions, and he'd be the first to tell you, look, if I go and turn the ball over 3 times and a half, we're not going to win.
Well, the thing about the turnovers, I like how Baker stood up for it. It's easy to say the stats weren't good, he played a bad game. You know, in the games where the stats are phenomenal, I didn't get that excited as an old quarterback. I don't get that disappointed in poor stats either. Typically, the answers are somewhat in between. You're not as good as you think when it goes good. You're not as bad as you thought when it goes bad. I like how Baker stood in there, took his chances. That's a tough defense. They put pressure by rushing 4. Actually, sometimes just rushing 3 and dropping 8. When you are limited, sometimes with your playmakers like that, and you're not in complete perfection, like we weren't at times on Sunday afternoon, those mistakes happen.
And that's something that they will work on this week. This young football team tried to erase those mistakes. Now, one guy who joined the Browns just a few weeks ago knows a lot about quarterbacks. He was one in the NFL, also knows a lot about the running back position, as he's now the Browns running back coach. I sat down with Ryan Lindley to take a look ahead to the Carolina Panthers on Sunday. Here you are with Browns running back coach Ryan Lindley. Now, you were a former quarterback, San Diego State Aztec, where you were with another former Brown, Brian Sipe, the quarterback of the Cardiac Kids. So is this kind of like a full circle thing for you here, ending up with the Browns?
Yeah, I mean, when I played for Brian in college for 3 years, and he would always, I mean, he'd find a time every week to fit in a great story. And it's great being around here because I'm hearing some of the stories that he probably didn't want to tell me as a player. I can hear from the Doug Deacons of the world and those guys. So it's been really fun to be around this place. And obviously, you know, it's one of the most storied franchises in the NFL. So it's been a real honor to be able to work here and work with such a great group of guys. But Brian really, at the end of the day, has kind of put that idea of what Cleveland and what the Browns are about. So it's lived up to expectations since I've been here.
Now, most people go from Cleveland either to San Diego or to Phoenix, and it seems like there is a Phoenix migration now. Yourself, Drew Stanton, Freddie Kitchens, all coming from the Cardinals in the past, kind of bringing a crew together here.
Sure, no, I mean, there's Darren Fells I played with there too, and there's a ton of guys that it kind of feels like it's funny, and the running backs, it seems like every day they mention another guy that comes around here that they don't realize that I played with back in the day. So it's a good group, and like you said, yeah, we're coming here to the Heartland to bring some of that flavor, but it's been good, and hopefully we can keep it going.
Now, around this building, it's been called the Ryan Lindley Revenge Game, taking on the Panthers this Sunday, a team that you faced in the playoffs with Arizona a few years back. When you look at this team, they're kind of coming in an interesting spot, probably not where they expected to be, honestly, this time of the year. What have you kind of seen from this Carolina team and how you want to attack them?
Yeah, there's still a lot of that talent, and a lot of the same guys that I remember playing against 4 years ago or whenever that was in that playoff game. But you know, obviously the linebacker spot's their strength. You know, Shaq Thomas has gotten a lot older, is more savvy of a player. Kuechly's as good as it gets at the middle linebacker position, and somehow Thomas Davis is still doing it. I mean, he's a heck of a player as well. So you look, and guys have shuffled around on the D line, and you know, we'll see what they bring out on Sunday. But there's still just a lot of veteran leadership on that team. I think it's a good group, and they play strong football. Obviously, they shuffled some things around here in the last 24 hours, but we got to be ready to put our best foot forward because they're going to bring it.
Now, Lindley, great guy, enjoyed spending time with him, and he's a guy with a lot of experience, and you kind of have that Arizona connection now. Freddie Kitchens, Drew Stanton, and of course Lindley, all kind of helping and working with Baker Mayfield. Is it helpful to have maybe that many voices, or could it be too many cooks in the kitchen?
Too many voices sometimes are an issue. The voices you just mentioned, because of the history together with everybody, does make that fine. If I could add on to Ryan's history, 2011, he's at San Diego State. I get a phone call from my mentor and one of the guys I grew up idolizing, the great Brian Sipe.
Oh, yes.
Brian calls and says, hey, I got this fantastic young quarterback you need to look at. His name's Ryan Lindley. This is 2011. But 6 years later, to see him coming in town As a quarterback, ex-quarterback coaching running backs, I obviously like the results that have transpired. Our backs and offense has, in the last 3 weeks, statistically, you could definitely see the improvement and positive plays that he's brought into this system.
Yeah, the running backs have scored every single game that Ryan Lindley has been their running back coach, and obviously our offense has been firing on all cylinders during that time. Of course, we will be back firing on all cylinders right here with more Browns All Access. After the break, Joe Schobert visits university hospitals to show off the cleats he'll be wearing in support of Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital. And Myles Garrett talks about his goal to be the NFL sack leader. Welcome back to Browns All Access. Nathan Zegura alongside Bernie Kosar. And Bernie, they talk about the quarterback of the defense. That's always the middle linebacker. And for the Browns, Joe Schobert, who went to the Pro Bowl last year, has been integral to their success on that side of the ball. Just take the last 6 games. 0-3 without him on the field, 2-1 with him on the field. What is Schobert showing you?
Absolutely. From a player perspective, from any perspective, when you see you're on the field and you win, and when you're not an active participant on Sunday afternoon and you don't win any games, that definitely shows you the magnitude and the importance of a player like that.
Now, Joe may be fearsome on the field, but off the field, he loves to give back to his community. Learn more about him via a recent trip to the University Hospital's Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital in this week's Player Spotlight, brought to you by Fifth Third Bank.
Hi, it's Joe Schobert and my wife Megan. We're here today at University Hospital supporting My Cause, My Cleats, and going around visiting some kids who are living less fortunate lives than we are, and hopefully we can brighten their day and give them something to talk about.
All right, they roll up that way.
This way? Oh, cool. Nice, new player.
Yes. You have a 17-year-old that cannot wait to meet you.
Oh yeah? What's up? You David?
Yes.
That's why I heard a lot about you.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd you hear?
Just that you were changing.
Wow.
So, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Since I was a rookie, all the rookies come on Halloween and dress up, and that's kind of the first time I came down to kind of see all the good stuff that they do for the kids who are really in need and have some terrible things that have happened to them in their lives. And just when you get down here and you get to hang out, talk to the kids, and you see them smile and kind of forget about their pains and their past, what they've gone through, it's just all worth it. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons I chose the Rainbow Babies for my cause, my cleats this year. Hi, how you doing? Nice to meet you. You a Browns fan?
Yes.
Oh yeah, big time? Who's your favorite player?
I really don't know.
No? 53's not up there? DJ is one of the kids that we met today. He's a young guy, enthusiastic. I think he said he was a 4th grader. Wanted to start playing tackle football here real soon. And also, he's a big fisherman, and I like to go fishing when I have time, and showed me some pictures of some big things that I don't know if I could reel in. So, it was just cool to see his face light up when he was talking about and how proud he was showing the pictures of the fish he's caught.
They haven't been worn yet, so they're not smelly yet.
Yeah, I can make them smell fast.
I think I could make them smell faster, probably. For me personally, it doesn't feel like it should be that special because you just feel like another normal person. But when you walk into a room and you see the smiles on the kids' faces, it's probably huge for their emotional boost. They're going through rough times in their lives, so that's why they're here. And just to be somebody who can walk into a room and just help them make their day just a little bit brighter, or just at least make them forget about kind of some of the things they're going through, is huge. And that's one of the reasons why I do it. And then the strength and fortitude that they show, overcoming the things that have been put in front of them, is inspirational to me, because I'm just out here playing football, playing a game that kids are supposed to play, kids like them are supposed to play, and they're in here dealing with real life struggles, and to put a smile on their faces is huge. Hopefully you'll be fishing here real soon again. Yeah, appendix won't hold you down.
What's up? I'm Allie Raymond, and this is your Social Minute, where we show you the best of what happened on social media this week. Starting with you guys. Fansided voted the Browns fan base the #1 fandom this year, above the Boston Red Sox, Marvel's Black Panther, and even HBO's Game of Thrones. Tell us something that we don't already know. Next up, custom cleats have been all the rage this season, but you can shut it down because we found the best cleats so far this season, and they come from the one and only Baker Mayfield. Baker wore these cleats this week at practice with "I woke up feeling" on one shoe and "dangerous" on the other, with his pass catchers listed as targets. And finally, do you want to send your favorite Browns to Orlando for the Pro Bowl this year? You probably should. Make sure you get on Twitter this week to vote for your favorite Browns. Use their name plus hashtag Pro Bowl vote in a tweet and automatically is entered for a vote and retweets count. I'm Allie Raymond, and this was your Social Minute.
After the break, Myles Garrett talks about how the team has changed under head coach Greg Williams, and running backs coach Ryan Lindley breaks down Nick Chubb's record-setting touchdown run. Welcome back to Browns All Access. Nathan Zegura and a living legend, Bernie Kosar, with me. Bernie, I know you watched that game. When you saw Myles Garrett just grab Deshaun Watson by the back of his jersey and rip him down to the ground, I'm sure you were happy because it was a Browns play, but as a quarterback, you're like, I'm glad that that's not happening to me right now.
No doubt about it. The duress that Myles Garrett is consistently and constantly putting on opposing quarterbacks, the challenges that he puts to a whole offense, it's easy to see.
Yeah, it's pretty good. They had 4 sacks in this week against Houston. Myles Garrett having 1.5 of those. And Garrett now sat down with Andrew Gribble so we can learn more about the Browns' young superstar.
In the pocket, up in the pocket. He got hit in the pocket. He's going down. They got him. Myles Garrett got him. Connor running, and from behind, he fumbled the ball, and it's picked up by the Browns.
I'm Andrew Gribble here with Myles Garrett. And Myles, you guys are coming off a tough loss to Houston, but how do you guys look forward to this final 4-game stretch?
We still can control our future in some ways as long as we win out. We have a positive outlook on how things can shake out for postseason dreams and going into next year. We just have to focus on one game at a time.
What does that say about this locker room that a loss like that doesn't down the spirits of the group? It just seems like this team has kind of stayed upbeat no matter what's happened this season.
I mean, that's just the kind of vibe and energy we have. That's with what we have on defense. That's what we've always had with the leaders there. And then with Baker and Tyrod, Joel, they're always upbeat and they're always positive about the next game and just moving forward, turning the next page.
Pressure, they are going to get him, and Myles Garrett drilled him down. And here comes Myles Garrett.
Personally, how do you think your season's gone so far?
It's gone all right. 11.5, 12 sacks, a couple TFLs, a couple forced fumbles, but it's about the team at the end of the day. My stats don't mean anything if we're not winning, so I have to up my performance, and we have to up our performance on the defense. We can't have a game like last week where we had no takeaways. We have to go back to what we've been doing, and that's interceptions, forced fumbles, sacks, just getting after the ball carrier and taking the ball from them.
Now, when you came into the league last year, you made an immediate impact getting a sack on your very first play. But do you notice now that you're getting more attention, or when did that start happening on the field with maybe some double teams and things like that?
I got it a little bit last year, but it's been definitely a larger dose this year. This team's throwing guard and tackle and tight end, tackle, tight end, running back. Just different looks to keep me from getting a full head of steam before I get to the tackle and get to the quarterback. So it's been good for me. It's a good learning experience.
Here they come after Driscoll, and Myles Garrett got him this time.
With the way the schedule's worked out, you guys have seemingly played every big-name quarterback in the NFL. Another one's coming up this weekend with Cam Newton. What is that for you when you go into a matchup? What are you thinking when you're facing a guy like that?
He's very confident in his arm. He's very confident in his legs. So they run his own read. So if you don't play good technique, he'll take it and try to stiff on you to the ground, or he'll try to sneak it into a reverse or throw a long bomb. So you never know what's coming next for him.
You mentioned the 11.5 sacks. You're 5 off the NFL lead. Is that goal still in your mind with 4 games left to play?
Absolutely. I mean, until the last game has 3 zeros on it, I'm going to be scratching and clawing for that lead. That's just I want to be the best at what I do. So he's at the top right now. Then I gotta pass him up.
He's such a mild-mannered guy off the field, but on the field, he is a wrecking ball out for destruction. And I have to ask you, in your days, who was the most feared defensive lineman you had to go against?
You know, there's so many cool names. I don't want to make myself sound too old, but you know, the Lawrence Taylors, the Reggie Whites, the Mark Gastineaus, the pressure of, and Myles Garrett. I'm not trying to overhype this, but the way he is currently playing, game in and game out, he is in that level of play. Now, can he do it over the scheme of a decade, like some of those guys? But in the short run right now, with, again, only rushing basically 4 and 5 guys, the pressure that he's able to put, it makes you go faster than you want to. And in speed sometimes comes mistakes.
Absolutely. Now, does he remind you of anybody that you played against just from a stylistic standpoint?
Well, the stylistic standpoint, it looks like he has the range of like the Lawrence Taylors, where you got to be careful of him batting down balls, but the speed and power of Reggie White.
You gotta like that. Those are two pretty good guys. If you can follow their career paths, he will be in.
I have a lot of broken bones from those guys.
Well, we're glad that you're doing well now, and that's why you're here with us on Browns All Access, and we'll be back with more of Browns All Access right after this. Baker Mayfield has thrown for a touchdown now in 9 consecutive starts. Who was the last Browns quarterback to do so? Is the answer A, Otto Graham, B, Brian Sipe, C, Bernie Kosar, or D, Tim Couch? Find out when Browns All Access returns. Baker Mayfield has thrown for a touchdown in 9 consecutive starts. Who was the last Browns quarterback to do so? Well, the answer is C, Bernie Kosar. In 1987, Kosar threw for a touchdown every week from week 6 on, and over that span led the Browns to a 7-3 record and a playoff berth. Welcome back to Browns All Access. Nathan Zegura, and the answer to our trivia question, Bernie Kosar. Bernie, this is a multiple weeks now where Baker's the first quarterback since so-and-so to do blank. And every time that so-and-so is you, my friend. So what is it like? All Browns fans have wanted is the next Bernie Kosar. Maybe we've got him in 6.
Well, you just gave me chills, bringing me up on a couple of those old school stats, but it's awesome to be watching and talking about somebody not only breaking the records. I'm not big on the stats, but I just love the way he's playing. I love the way he's winning. And I think, albeit last week's game was a loss, I think we ran out of time. And when you got a guy like Baker Mayfield, you haven't lost. He doesn't quit. You just run out of time at times. But more importantly, you end up winning. Absolutely. In the long run.
Yeah, we're seeing those wins coming. Hopefully we'll get another one this Sunday. Now, as you've told me many times, the best friend for a quarterback are running backs that are getting the job done. And since Ryan Lindley has taken over as the Browns running back coach in those 4 games, his running backs have 9 total touchdowns. Nick Chubb has scored in all 4. Let's take a look at some of those running back scores in our play breakdown, brought to you by Papa John's. Very happy to be joined by Browns running back coach and obviously former NFL quarterback Ryan Lindley. And Ryan's first time we got to talk, so before we get into this film, welcome to Cleveland, welcome to the Browns.
Oh, happy to be here. It's been a wild ride since I got here, and obviously just as much good as bad, but we'll keep trending upwards and see how it goes.
Well, ever since you've been here, a running back has scored every single game, which I'm sure has a lot to do with what the knowledge you're bestowing upon them. So let's take a look at some of these touchdowns.
Let's check it out. I think Freddie laid a pretty good foundation, but I'm just trying to carry the torch. But yeah, I mean, we got a good room, and really you even saw, this past week that even Don Trailhilliard gets involved too. But we love to get Duke the ball in space, and obviously he's kind of our third down back, and it's a bit of a rub route here with the receiver and tight end, and if we can just this guy playing man-to-man on Duke to run the hoop a little bit, and that's what we kind of call it, is if he can run the hoop and create space to get him the ball right now, obviously Duke's a guy that can make somebody miss. Here he just shakes off the tackle, and one-on-one with him, and even Callaway gets in there, gives great effort to give him a little escort to the end zone, but we know that 29 is there to make those plays, and anytime we can, we got to get him the ball in those situations.
All right, so he's all business. The other guy in there is old school, even though he's a rookie, Nick Chubb.
We kind of dialed this up. Both Bob Wiley and Fred put this together, and really it gashed them, and it was what we thought it could do. Now to start off, I mean, I got to go to the back because at the end of the day, these 5 guys up front, and even the 7 and 8 with the guys that get involved here with Jarvis and the 2 tight ends. But JC gets off and gives us a heck of a block here to get us started. And that just gets Nick in the open field. Here, Callaway, again, as you can see, he's kind of become the running back room's best friend. He's directing traffic. We gave him a hard time about this, pointing Nick where to go. But at the end of the day, if you look at this, I mean, it's really just Chubb taking over. I mean, Nick's a guy that Obviously, kind of he pounded it out, and we did a lot where we were working front side and working strong side runs, and we just kind of figured if we get them to overload like they did here, we could get Nick working backside on the weak side, and JC sprung us. I mean, we do a good job on the right side of the line with Zeit and Hub too, and get him out in the open field, and you just let guys work. And that's really all it's become. And I think, I don't know, I mean, I've only been here a bit, but the more and more I see, there's a ton of talent in this group, in this offensive group, that all we really need to do as coaches is to get them in a position where they can just be out in the open space and execute.
Now, the Browns running backs have been great, but so has Christian McCaffrey. Back-to-back 100-yard games for the Panthers, but they come in on a 4-game losing streak.
Right. They're still in playoff hopes, almost a must-win for them. Christian McCaffrey and Cam Newton, with Norv Turner, the offensive coordinator, fantastic play caller. I had the honor of being with him in the Super Bowl in 1993. And by the way, when the offense crosses the 50-yard line, Norv, I hate to give away some secrets.
Do it.
Norv loves to take a shot on first down, crossing the field. He's one of the best at finding your tendencies within your defense to take shots. That's why I'm so high on what Blake Williams has been doing, helping out with some of the coaching changes. Our defense will be ready for those type plays.
Yeah, the Browns defense all year has been good eliminating the big play. They've been a bend but don't break defense. Heck, we saw that last Sunday. They only gave up one touchdown on defense in that entire game, despite the turnovers from the offense and some tough field position. So hopefully they can do that again on Sunday, and we can get this team back on the winning track against Carolina. For the latest on your Browns, keep it tuned to cleanbrowns.com, the Browns mobile app, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and for the latest on this great man, check out Kosar19.com. It's the Browns and the Panthers at First Energy Stadium as the Browns look to get back to their winning ways. We want to thank you once again for joining us on Browns All Access, and let's go Browns!